People always ask me, what is your number one strategy to get the girl and do it fast as an introvert? And if you as well are looking for dating advice for introverted guys, then you are in the right video, because today I'll share with you my number one strategy to get the girl and do it fast as an introvert. Now, I've been using this strategy for more than 30 years myself, and I've been teaching it to my students for more than 20 years now. And it is, in my opinion at least, it is hands down the most important strategy to master if you are an introverted man. My name is Nick Neeson, and most of you guys probably already know me, but for the gentlemen that don't already know me, I'm the founder and CEO of Introverted Badass, and Introverted Badass is the worldwide market leader in dating advice for introverted men. We teach introverted men to become natural badasses with women without being someone they're not. And that is very important. The word natural is very important, because what we teach is natural skills. You will not be hearing or reading or seeing any pickup artist related stuff. You will not even see anything that is even remotely unnatural. And the reason that is because everything that we teach, we've gotten it from introverted naturals. And introverted naturals are introverted men that are naturally good with women and that never learned it from a book. And that is very important, because what that means to you is that, number one, you will feel comfortable, it will feel authentic for you. And not only will it feel authentic to you and natural to you, but it will also feel natural to the women that you interact with. And number two, all of this will make you come across as congruent. And at the end of the day, that's what makes a difference. If you don't come across as congruent, if you come across as manipulative, if you come across as someone you're not, women will not be attracted to you. Or at the very best, you'll be dating psychologically damaged women and women of a lower quality. That being said, what I also would like to share with you is that we are the first dating advice company by introverted men for introverted men. And we are the only dating advice company with more than 20 years of experience in coaching introverted men. All right, so I'm going to stop the blatant self-promotion here, because I'd like to proceed right now and share with you what is arguably the single most powerful and natural way to go from social to sexual with beautiful women. And by the way, all while staying true to yourself and while respecting women. So let's start right away. Let's make it even more relevant for you by looking at a scenario that recently happened to one of our clients. And while we go through that scenario, I'd like you to pay very close attention. I'd like you to notice if you can relate to it. And here's the scenario. She looked at him with compassion in her eyes and said, "Thank you, I'm so happy you're in my life. You're such a good listener and you're so thoughtful, but I just don't want to mess up our friendship." Now, this is the third time this year that Michael has heard these heart-wrenching words. Michael is an introvert. He is very good at listening and being thoughtful, but somehow he never gets the girl. So if you are an introverted man, then this story probably resonates with you on a very deep level. And the reason why is simple, because this story happens a lot to introverted men. And because it happens so often, many introverts, they start to think that their introversion is a problem. And then this belief gets reinforced by reading pickup advice that tries to convince them to behave like an extrovert or to use tricks or manipulation or lies to get the girl. But for introverts, using these techniques just doesn't feel right. And so what happens is they avoid this part of their life and they focus on their career or their hobbies or their social life. And if that's you, be warned, because there's a big danger in this. You see, the longer that you wait to handle this part of your life, the more you'll get used to this lifestyle. And if you don't get your dating life under control quickly, if you don't start acting on it right now, we both know what happens. We put something off until tomorrow, but what happens tomorrow? We put it off another day. And actually, how many of the things that you've procrastinated on have you actually done? Not many, because if you're like me, if you're like most people, the things that we put off, eventually we end up not doing it. And that is a big danger, because once that happens, that's the point where you'll either settle for a woman that you're not attracted to at all, or you'll stay alone for the rest of your life. And what I want you to know is that if you are in that situation, I want you to know there is a solution. Being introverted is not a weakness, it is a strength if you leverage it the right way. And the first step in all of this is to realize what your strengths are and then embrace them. And the second step is to develop skills that then naturally align with your strengths. So don't try to become someone you're not. Don't try to become a pickup artist. Don't try to behave like an extrovert. That's not building on your strengths. That's building on somebody else's strengths. Introverts and extroverts have different strengths, and you need to build on your strengths, not try to make a 180 on your personality. And today I'm going to share with you how you can use just one element, how you can add just one element, just one, to your interactions with women and literally skyrocket your results. But more on that in a few seconds. First, I'd like to talk a few seconds about your biggest strengths as an introvert. Remember, we just said it's important to realize your strengths and embrace them and then build on them. Well, let's look at what your strengths are. Number one, you are mysterious. And that's important. Why? Well, because women are naturally attracted to mysterious men. And the reason why you are mysterious is because you reflect on things before you speak. And you also have a tendency to listen instead of talk. So all of this makes you speak less and listen more. And that makes you naturally more mysterious. And this, gentlemen, is a strength that extroverted men can only wish they had. Number two, you know how to create deep bonds. Now, creating a deep connection with women is probably the most powerful thing that you can do. And please don't make the mistake of thinking that your listening skills, your connecting skills are the reason that you've landed in the friend zone. They're not. You just need to learn to use them the right way. And I'll show you exactly how to do that later in this video. But for now, understand it's a strength. You see, many introverted men have been friend-zoned in their life. And then what they do is they usually go, when that happens, they go read some dating advice. And in that dating advice, people will tell them that the reason they got friend-zoned is because they connected so deeply. And as a consequence, they start to think that their strength, connecting with women, is a weakness. And it is not. I'm telling you guys, it is not. And I'll tell you exactly how to use your strength the right way in this video. Number three, you are a challenge. Now, women love to be challenged mentally by intelligent men. And the reason why you are a challenge is the following. Because of your introversion, you usually have a deeper understanding of things than other people do. Introverts tend to process things on deeper levels and from different angles, and that gives you more perspective and a better understanding about things. And if you use that to mentally challenge her, that is going to create attraction in women. Right now, you might be thinking, yeah, that's me. I do understand things at a deeper level. I do think about stuff more deeply. I do know how to connect with women and create deep bonds. But you know what? So far, it's only gotten me a kiss on the cheek and a pat on the shoulder. And women never consider me as a sexual option. So how the heck are those qualities helping me then? And the answer is very simple. It's not the presence of your mysteriousness, your listening skills, or your connecting skills that catapult you into the friend zone. It's the absence of something. Now, this is so important that I'm going to say that again. Your issue is not the presence of something, it's the absence of something. It's not something you do, it's something you don't do. In many cases, you can easily get the girl by just adding one element to your conversations with women. And that one thing is my number one most effective dating strategy of all. And it is touch. Yep, that's it. It's as simple as that. You need to learn how to touch a woman. And more specifically, you need to learn how to escalate your touch from social to sexual. Because when you analyze what dating is in its essence, you'll find it's all about two people getting to know each other and along the way physically escalating the relationship. And there's two parts to this: connecting and escalating. Now, as an introvert, you are naturally good at connecting with people. And so therefore the process of getting to know a woman and creating a deeper bond with her comes easily for you. The only missing part for you as an introvert is physical escalation. That's why they don't consider you a sexual option, because you never physically escalate with them. When you add touch to your natural strengths as an introvert, your charm will be devastating. And the good news is that you can just stay true to yourself. There's no need to become someone you're not. So, how do you use escalating touch? Well, there are 3 different touches you need to master in order to escalate to a physical intimate relationship. There is social touch, there is seductive touch, and there is sexual touch. So let's start with social touch first. Social touch is when you touch a woman in areas that are socially acceptable. For example, a kiss on the cheek, or touching her shoulder, or touching her elbow. And you use social touch right off the bat when you meet women to start off the physical process. So the goal of social touch is to make her comfortable with your touch. Many men, they make the mistake of never touching a woman. So they go on a date with a woman, they don't touch her in any way. And then after 1 or 2 hours of date, they want to kiss her and they work up all their courage and then they suddenly launch in for the kiss. Now, that is a kamikaze strategy. I mean, if you've never even touched her, there's a big chance you won't get the kiss. And the problem with that is that not only will you not get the kiss, or is the chance of not getting the kiss, or the risk, should I say, of not getting the kiss is higher, but also when she does reject you, it's going to be much more painful and awkward because you suddenly have to launch in for that kiss. And so if you would have started by using social touch, she would have gotten comfortable with your touch, and you would also have gotten some signals from her, some comfort signals that would allow you to gauge if she would be ready for a kiss later on. So you have to use social touch. It's the best way to get women comfortable with your touch, and it's absolutely risk-free because it's social. It's not like you're launching in for the kiss. It's stuff that people do when they meet each other socially, so it's acceptable. The next type of touch that you want to be using is what I call seductive touch. And seductive touch is when you touch a woman in more seductive zones. So for example, you could be touching her hand, her hair, or her waist. So basically you're touching her in areas where a lover or an ex-boyfriend would touch her. And you use seductive touch after she's comfortable with your social touch. And the goal of seductive touch is, well, if the goal of social touch is to get her comfortable with you, if you only keep touching her socially, she'll become so comfortable with you and only see you as a social acquaintance, and she'll friend zone you. So what you want to do is, once she's comfortable with your social touch, is you want to inject seductive touches. And the goal of seductive touches is to position yourself as a sexual option. And this, gentlemen, is your solution to never being friend-zoned again. But of course, you have to do it in sequence. You wouldn't just start off with seductive touches. Yeah, you could do it maybe in a bar or a club, and if you're a bit more advanced, but if it's on a date or if you meet her to your social circle or any other non-party kind of atmosphere, you'll usually want to start with social touch first. And so by first using that social touch, you make her comfortable and set her up for the seductive touch later, which is a beautiful process. It works brilliantly good, and it's totally risk-free, because at every increase in your touch level, you will gauge her response. And then next we have, after seductive touch, we have sexual touch. And this is when you touch her in sexual areas. So for example, you might be touching her breasts. And this is usually done later in the dating process, when you are both at your place or at hers. Now guys, when you go from social to sexual touching, the trick is to use what I call micro-escalation. And that means you start by using social touch, as I already said, and then incrementally increase your level of touching. And by doing that, you are much less likely to get rejected. In fact, it's totally rejection proof. You will not be rejected. And that is because every escalation that you make will only be a small increase. And you'll notice how she reacts on that small increase. So, and once she's comfortable with you, with your touch at one level, only then do you go to the next level. So for example, if you would touch her hand when making a point and you see it makes her nervous, you didn't really trespass. You didn't really go too far at all. You didn't make her feel super uncomfortable. Neither did you feel super uncomfortable. Neither did you create an awkward moment. And so if that happens, you know it's not time yet to go for the kiss, for example. And so what you do in that example is you just give her more time to become comfortable, talk some more, and then you try again later. And if again she's not comfortable, you wait a bit longer, and then suddenly she becomes comfortable, and from that point on you increase your level of touch again. So you will never ever get rejected by doing that, and you'll never ever trespass. It's the most introvert friendly way of creating attraction, creating arousal, and escalating the relationship, because you can just leverage your existing strengths, which means you can be talking to her, having a good conversation, which is something introverts are strong at, connecting with her, and you'll use that conversation as a way to be in her presence. And then while you're doing that, you'll use micro escalations and escalating touch to get to the first kiss, etc., etc., etc. So let me give you an example. For example, when you first meet for a date, you could give her a kiss on the cheek to start off the physical process. Now, depending on your age range, and depending on the subculture that you might in, this is something that you might want to do or might not want to do, but I'm giving it here as an example. So you might give her a kiss on the cheek to start the physical process. And then next, when you cross the street together to walk to the venue, you could put your hand on her lower back while crossing the street. That will give her feelings of safety. It's a little bit dominant. It is socially acceptable, and it makes her comfortable with your touch. By the way, I always advise my clients to, when they go on a date with a woman, to meet her outside of the venue so that they can have a little walk first. And that walk is then a perfect occasion to, from time to time, put your hand on her lower back, especially when you cross over a street. And then when you are in the venue and you're talking to her, next you could touch her lower arm, when you're making a point. And when you feel that she's comfortable with that, you can escalate even further. You could touch her hand when you're emphasizing something, and if she seems to like that, then later on you might touch her hair. And so as you see, you keep increasing your level of touch incrementally, and you gauge her reaction every step of the way. Now, of course, this is just an example, as I already said, and you should always gauge her reaction before you proceed. Now, here is a golden tip. Never ever look at the place where you are touching her, because that is creepy. What you want to be doing is you just want to touch her naturally while talking, and don't even look at it at all. Gentlemen, if you add escalating touch to your interaction with women, you will easily get the girl. Now imagine for a moment, let's go back to your introverted strengths and how I said it builds on those strengths. Imagine for a moment that you don't have your introverted strengths and you were going to try escalating touch. Do you think it would work? Do you think that if she didn't feel connected with you, if you weren't able to have a great conversation with her, do you think it would work? Probably not. Your mystery, your connecting skills, and your ability to mentally challenge her will make her attracted to you and feel comfortable with you and connected with you. And here's the thing, gentlemen, you need that initial connection for escalating touch to work. So guys, add touch to your conversations with women and you'll be a badass with women in no time. So where do you take it from here? You might be thinking, well, all of that is fine, Nick, but how exactly do I use this escalating touch? How exactly does it work? Well, I have got a free bonus for you that will teach you exactly how to use escalating touch during your next conversations. But do me two quick favors, please. Number one, if you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel right now, because that way you'll get noticed when I release new videos like this and you won't be missing out on any videos. And second, please, if you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, because when you do that, you'll be supporting our channel and I'll be very, very grateful to you for doing that. And so back to the free bonus. If you would like to learn more about escalating touch and how to set it up during your next interactions with women, then click the link here on the screen or in the description below this video. And so once you click it, it'll take you to another page with the touch guide. And inside the touch guide, inside this free bonus, you will get the complete physical escalation sequence to go from social to sexual, complete. And you'll also get the exact details of what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And when to do it is so crucial because you need to get the order right. If you don't get the order right, it doesn't work as well. And third, you'll be getting step-by-step instructions on how to prepare for your next interaction with women. So maybe you go on a date, maybe it's a woman that you know in your social circle and you'll see her there. It doesn't matter. I'll give you the exact step-by-step instructions of how to use all the information inside the touch guide and prepare for your next interaction so that you'll experience physical closeness and intimacy with women lightning fast. So if you'd like to learn how to go from social to sexual with beautiful women without getting rejected and without ever trespassing, then click the link. Once you do, you can leave your email there and it's going to take you to the touch guide right away. And again, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. You'll get notified of new videos and you'll be supporting us as well. Thanks so much again for having watched our video and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.